You know that frustrating feeling that the days keep slipping by and you always feel like you're behind, even with yourself? Like your energy just evaporates, leaving you stuck in place? Let me tell you something few have the courage to admit. The problem isn't laziness. The truth is, you're just lost in a sea of distractions that drain your focus and undermine your motivation. And it's not your fault. We're bombarded with so many stimuli that it's easy to lose sight of what actually makes sense for us. But here's the good news, there's a way out of this cycle. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to break free from this mental fog and rediscover the drive to take action. Ready to make a change? Then subscribe and find out how to take back control. Modern overstimulation. In these times of overstimulation, it's as if our brains are constantly riding a roller coaster of endless stimuli. Social media, notifications, short videos, and an infinite stream of information fragment our attention so much that we can barely focus on a single task. Think about it. You open your phone to check one message, and before you know it, you've spent 30 minutes scrolling, not even sure why. This mindless consumption drains our mental energy, and without even realizing it, we become slaves to these distractions, leaving behind what truly matters. If you've experienced this, drop a comment below because we're in this journey to rediscover focus together. Now, consider the effect this has on your clarity and motivation. It's like your mind needs a constant dose of novelty and intensity just to stay interested. Remember the last time you tried to focus on something simple but gave up because of a notification? This flood of stimuli can make even enjoyable activities feel dull. The key here is learning to control this source of distraction. Have you thought about limiting social media time, or maybe even installing a tracking app? The goal is to find a balance where you're in control, not the other way around. If you're tired of feeling scattered and want to take back control of your focus, the secret might be in making small daily changes, like setting aside parts of your day without your phone nearby. Exactly that, screen-free time, with no interruptions. What's funny is that once you start to avoid these constant stimuli, simple activities, like reading a book or picking up a hobby, start to feel enjoyable again. And this is just the beginning. Want to know what science says about dopamine's role in this? Then subscribe to the channel, because this conversation is only just beginning. Effective dopamine. Dopamine, that neurotransmitter acting as the brain's currency of motivation, is what drives us to seek rewards and experience pleasure. In a world of ever-intensifying stimuli, our dopamine circuits end up overloaded, making simple activities lose their charm. Remember that satisfaction from finishing a task or enjoying a quiet moment? Little by little, dopamine, addicted to high-level stimuli, loses interest in small pleasures. If you've noticed this shift, it's a clear sign your dopamine is overwhelmed, but there are ways to reset it. When we get used to this overload, even essential tasks, like studying or working on personal projects, can feel hard or even dull. It's like needing a hit of stimulation just to feel motivated. A powerful tip here is to try a dopamine detox. Limit intensely stimulating activities for a few hours and watch as your motivation for simple tasks starts to recover. Try cutting down on screen time and notice how your focus and energy shift. Picture dedicating time to activities like reading or meditating. At first, it might seem tedious, but gradually you'll rediscover subtle pleasures that your brain may have forgotten. This reconfiguration of the dopamine system brings back enjoyment in the small things. Interesting, right? In the next section, we'll dive into the balance between pleasure and pain, and how understanding this concept can hugely impact your quality of life. Curious? Stick around and don't forget to give us a like to help this content reach more people. Balance of pleasure and pain. Our brains operate on a continuous balance between pleasure and pain, a dynamic you might not have thought about before. When we constantly seek intense stimuli, like social media, gaming, or even ultra-processed foods, this balance tips heavily toward pleasure. Interestingly, the more we chase immediate gratification, the harder it becomes to find satisfaction in simple, routine tasks. It's as if our brains become numb to small pleasures. Ever felt that sense of emptiness, even when everything seems fine? That's the unbalanced scale showing its effects. This imbalance between pleasure and pain leads to what we call pleasure tolerance. The more stimuli you consume, the more you'll need to feel the same level of satisfaction. It's like that fun activity that used to excite you now feels ordinary or even boring. To reset this balance, you need to introduce more moments of reflection and even engage in challenging or less instantly gratifying activities, because that's where equilibrium starts to restore itself. A good way to start is by setting aside time each day for activities that don't offer immediate pleasure, like intense exercise or simply some quiet, screen-free moments. This strategy of balancing helps your brain rediscover enjoyment in simple things, balancing pleasure with discomfort. Not only do you gain more control over your life, but you also strengthen your ability to find satisfaction in what truly matters. And this is just an introduction to the idea of mindful consumption, which we'll explore next. Ready to take another step in managing your stimuli? Then follow along and share this video to help others discover this transformative method. Conscious consumption. With so much content around us, consuming consciously can be a real challenge. We're constantly bombarded by videos, posts, podcasts, and all kinds of media, making us consume way more than we actually need or want. Conscious consumption is more than just filtering information, it's a way of taking control of your time and attention. Imagine choosing only what truly adds value to your life, things that will contribute to your personal and professional growth. A simple exercise is to do a digital cleanse of your social networks, removing or hiding pages that just take up space in your life without purpose. Try it out and notice the difference in your mental clarity. Another powerful aspect of conscious consumption is understanding which content genuinely adds something to your life. Ask yourself, does this content make me feel good and motivated? Or does it just entertain me temporarily and leave me more drained afterward? Start small, maybe follow only those creators who share knowledge you can actually apply. Think of your attention as a valuable resource, something you don't want to waste. Spending a few minutes each day reflecting on this can help you consume more selectively and efficiently. By consuming more consciously, you'll find you start having more time for the things that truly matter and for developing skills or interests that you may have forgotten about. In this way, you gain more control over your choices and can focus your time on content that nurtures your mind in a healthy way. Are you ready to adopt this mindset of choice? In the next section, we'll talk about a growth mindset, a key to transforming challenges into opportunities. Don't miss it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue this journey. Growth mindset. Having a growth mindset means seeing every obstacle as a learning opportunity, a key that changes the way you approach life's challenges. Instead of viewing a problem and giving up, you start to see it as a chance to grow. Imagine, for example, that you fail at an important task. Instead of getting frustrated and blaming yourself, adopting this mindset helps you look at what you can learn and adjust for the next attempt. When you start to view difficulties this way, the feeling of being stuck fades, and progress becomes continuous. This mindset also pushes you toward continuous improvement. Say you want to become more disciplined, but find it hard to stick to a routine. With a growth mindset, the focus shifts from "I can't do this" to "How can I improve a little each day?" Small steps, like implementing a daily reading habit or doing some physical activity, make a huge difference. The idea is to keep adjusting without rushing, knowing that each effort, no matter how small it seems, builds something greater over time. When we adopt this perspective, self-confidence grows, and the fear of making mistakes diminishes because we understand that mistakes are just part of the learning process. The beauty of this mindset is that it keeps you from falling into the trap of thinking, "This is just how I am." On the contrary, it reminds you that everything can be adjusted, and you can keep reinventing yourself. And if you want to learn more about shaping this mindset for success, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel to follow our upcoming videos. Change begins with small actions, but they need intention and consistency. So, what will your first step be? Maybe setting aside daily time without your phone, prioritizing uplifting reading, or investing in a new habit that brings you closer to what you truly want. I want you to tell me in the comments, what are you going to change starting today? Thank you for subscribing and turning on notifications to follow each step of this transformation. Remember, knowledge that you don't apply is like a key that never opens the right door. So, put this learning to use and make it count.